right, everyone. Today we are going to read a piece of work titled My Name by Sandra Cisneros. There is an instructional video that's what I'm recording right now, so it'll be on that slide. And then we start out with a pretty long journal. And so whenever I say 2 to 3 sentences per question, I mean that. The word yes, period, or no, period, is not appropriate for 2 to 3 sentences. So please make sure that you are writing the appropriate amount. And then the questions and the way I wanted to word them about names and stories behind your names. If there is something painful in your personal story, obviously you can always type it, but I'm not trying to go down that road. Like, that is not the purpose of this. So if there's a story behind your first name and you don't want to share it, a sentence can be, there's a story behind my first name. I'm not comfortable talking about it. Period. It makes me sad and uncomfortable. And you can just leave that. That can be your 2 to 3 sentences. Because then we kind of move into other questions and we can move past those feelings. And so if you go by a nickname, did you choose it or did others? So I figured I would walk you through this with some answers just to show you how simple they can be with my own name. So there's a story behind my first name. My first name is Shelby, and I'm named after my papa. I don't know what you guys call your grandparents. I have a Mimi and a papa. So I'm named after my papa. I guess my mom wanted to name me after him. That could be 2 sentences. If I go by a nickname, did I choose it or did others? What is the story behind it? My friends call me Shelb instead of Shelby. And then my middle name is Diane. And my dad calls me Shelby D, like a Shelby and then the first initial of Diane. But if I'm in trouble, my parents say Shelby Diane with that inflection. And so there's a very big distinction, even though I'm grown, with how they mean that. So Shelby D is just what he says because he's happy to see me. And then Shelby Diane means we need to talk about something. Some of you have the middle name with your parents, so you know what I'm saying. The history of my last name: before I got married, my last name was Pavarnik. It is something I'm very proud of. It's hard to say I didn't like it growing up, but my dad's adopted and he kept his original last name because he had an uncle that helped save his life. He just had a really hard life, and his uncle and grandpa really helped him, so he kept his last name to honor them. And so I liked my last name. I did not like teachers struggling to pronounce it every day, but I liked having it and being proud of that heritage. My name represents and reflects who I am. I got married, so I changed my last name to his last name. That is a choice. That's not something you have to do. And I like that. I like that people hear my last name now and know who I'm married to because I'm super proud of who I'm married to. That could be 2 to 3 sentences. If you don't like your name, what is a name you would choose for yourself and why? I like the sound of my first name, but I'm actually not close with my papa, so it's pretty weird having his name. He goes by Shelby. It's his middle name, but it's what he goes by. And we're, just not super close. So I like it, like as in the sound of it, but the meaning doesn't hold a deep meaning to me. And then number 6, I'd probably just go through my nicknames again. So then I made an observation versus inference video for you guys. It is just under 5 minutes, I think, just explaining and reviewing what you should already know from elementary school with observation and inference. Also, though, if it's not reviewing it because you've never heard these words before, you will learn everything you need to learn through that video, so no worries. And then this is the whole text we're going to read. Please make sure that you enlarge your screen, like don't have it on that where right whenever you click it, please do not have it to where it's so tiny that you can't read this. If you put it on present, you can read it. If you have it bigger, you can read it. But this is the whole text. So this is everything in the story. And then, so what we're going to do is we have some quotes from the story that you just should have read. And then we have observations, and then you're going to type your inferences over here. And we do that for a couple times, but then you're more on your own. So we give the quote, and then you're going to type your observations and your inferences for the next 3. Okay, so the first 2 are just your inference sentences, okay? Quote, observation, then you type your inference sentences. And then the last three, you have a quote. You want to type your factual observations about what's going on, and then your inference sentences next. And that is the end.